In today's breaking story, British police have just taken emergency action right as Donald Trump arrives. That's right, Donald Trump continues to cause controversy. How's it going, everybody? Hunter Avalone here with Occupy Democrats. Welcome back to another video. Now, one thing is for certain, Donald Trump is terrified of criticism, and he's willing to go after anyone who criticizes him.
What we have to remember, too, is the reason he's going after the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal is because they're reporting on the Epstein files, and that is something he doesn't want to talk about. The story isn't going away, and so now he's trying to bully them and use these tactics to go after them in court to try to silence them. And we've seen it work with some other media outlets. He did have settlements with ABC News and CBS, which I found to be somewhat some frivolous lawsuits, but they settled with him. And then you look at what has happened with the big tech oligarchs and the law firms and all these people bending the knee to him. And so I'm really encouraged to see the New York Times stand up and say, no, we're not going to take this. We're going to fight back. And because they know that this is a frivolous lawsuit, and it's only because he's scared of them reporting the truth on the Epstein files.
And Trump's fear of criticism, it's just so transparent and obvious. I mean, he's even using recent tragedies to try and distract from his own failures and sow division.
Look, Donald Trump said very early on that he wants to go after his political opponents, crush free speech, and use the full power of the state to try to stop those people that criticize him. And so in this moment where political violence is on the rise, and this is very serious, instead of actually trying to quell political violence, you see Donald Trump sending out Bondi and Vance to start going after magazines, independent press, independent foundations. Instead of actually trying to address the crisis of political violence, they're trying to weaponize this crisis in order to crush free speech. And as we've seen throughout all of Trump's first term, when people say, no, he doesn't really mean that, that's not really going to happen, we see that they go ahead and do it, and do even worse than we imagine. So we have to take this very seriously and make sure that the American people know about and hear about these attacks on free speech, because it's telling that Vance and others are trying to lie about what they're trying to do, because the vast majority of the American people do not support the full weight of the state being used to crush people's peaceful free speech.
And now British police have just taken emergency action as Trump arrives. That's right, take a look at today's top story. Ceremony and spectacles surrounded President Donald Trump today at Windsor Castle, but so did something else: extraordinary measures to keep him away from protesters. Trump and First Lady Melania were welcomed with full pomp and pageantry by King Charles III and Queen Camilla. The royal couple joined them for a carriage ride through Windsor before hosting a private lunch inside the castle. But while cameras captured the grandeur, British police were focused on a very different mission: keeping the protests out of Trump's line of sight. Authorities pushed demonstrators 20 miles away, confining anti-Trump marches to central London. Thousands of people gathered there, waving flags, hoisting signs, and chanting messages of defiance. One banner read, "Immigrants welcome, Trump not welcome." Another declared, "No to racism, no to Trump." The mood was spirited and even joyful, but their target never saw it. Trump remained insulated at Windsor, spared from the direct sound and sight of dissent. Observers say this was no accident. Security officials have been unusually blunt about keeping protests at bay, raising questions about whether these precautions were about safety or about shielding the president's famously fragile ego from public humiliation. On the streets of London, demonstrators also tied Trump to global controversies: Gaza, Jeffrey Epstein, Elon Musk, even Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu. In their eyes, Trump embodies not just one leader, but a larger nexus of corruption and extremism. A handful of counter-protesters tried to show support for Trump, but they were outnumbered thousands to one. Police ensured no major clashes occurred. The real confrontation, critics say, is between the image of Trump's state visit, regal, choreographed, protected, and the reality of his deep unpopularity on the streets. But for Trump, the headline of the day is this: while the king rolled out the red carpet, police rolled up the protesters just to make sure the president did not have to face them.
We're rolling out the red carpet for him. It's a low point in recent British history, and I'm truly disgusted and sickened that this is happening, and I'm here to let Trump and our government know exactly how I feel.
I'm a history teacher, and I find it really frightening and scary that we have such a significant world leader at the moment who has no grasp of history and world affairs. All of the problems that we're facing currently in the world, he is actually making worse.
If Trump was here right now, what would you have to say to him?
Go home. Go home. Change your cabinet, change your ethos, change your way of thinking, show some empathy, show some love. Oh, everything that he isn't. Do the opposite to what you're doing now, Trump.
Think of the people of the country, and he's actually a disgrace, and I would tell him that. And he doesn't represent even half the people in the country.
Thanks so much for watching. Please click that like button and subscribe to Occupy Democrats so that you can stay informed and help us stop Donald Trump.